All right, looks like we are live and in charge, ready to go here. Week 16 NFL action. Hope everybody's Christmas was wonderful. The holiday season is here. The NFL not bringing a lot of cheer here with how many people on the COVID list and injuries, but that's what we're here for, to guide you through over the next half hour to see if we can get down to some business. I'm Donnie RightSide. He is Kyle Purviance. We're at Bookmakers Review, and it's time to talk some NFL action, Kyle. Look at Kyle in a little bit different room today. He's festive.
Yeah, I'm feeling festive today. A lot of traveling. I'm very tired. But one thing I'm festive about, I'll tell you what. Usually this is the second to last week of the season, right? Where get fantasy football finals and then week 17's a wash. We got 2 more weeks of the regular season. Yeah. It's Christmas time. It's wide open. Anyone can win the Super Bowl. I mean, there's no great team. The Cardinals, who were the best team all year. Does anyone trust the Cardinals in the playoffs? I know I certainly don't. So I'm excited to be here, excited to be in a different room. I get to wear a T-shirt and not freeze my ass off out in the studio, so I'm feeling pretty good today.
All right, let's get after it. Have some fun today, guys. If you're watching through the YouTube channel right now, thank you for doing that. Hit the subscribe button, turn your notification bell on. When we go live to talk NFL action, you'll get it delivered directly to your inbox. If you're watching through our Twitter channel, thank you so much for that as well. Give us a retweet if you can, and also, most importantly, there, give us a follow on Twitter as well, at BMR Reviews. Now, let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Let's see what we can decipher here, Kyle, because having looked at this menu this week, and it's a shame because I love the NFL. I'm still going to watch the NFL. Eagles and the Giants are playing today. Some other interesting games across the league. But when we come correct and say, I love this play, you need to get on this. There's been weeks and years that we've had 3, 4, 5 plays a week. I'm like, you can't get around this. I love this. But I got to tell you today, looking at the card up and down, and if anybody follows me on social media, at RightSide VP, follow Kyle there at DFS Bachelor. It's a slot machine. You sit down, you put your money in, you pull the lever and be like, ooh, okay, I lost. Because there's really no factoring in a lot of the stuff, which we're going to talk about right away here. Tampa Bay, Carolina, 457, 458. This line is 11 across the board. Tom Brady has no weapons. Oh, Antonio Brown. Yeah, Antonio Brown hasn't played in 2.5 months out here. Rob Gronkowski is now going to be shadowed by multiple linebackers. You're down your 2 top wide receivers. You're down your best running back, and they're still favored by 11. Why? Because Cam Newton stinks, and Sam Darnold's going to get playing time. He stinks. And maybe even see P.J. Walker. We have 3 quarterbacks playing in a single football game. To me, this is going to be a common theme. I see the over-under opened up at 49. It sits at 44.5. I love the under, Kyle. I love it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you know what? You're so right. Like, when are we going to be allowed as adult human beings to manage our own personal risk, right? No one comes up and says, hey, the freeway's packed today. It's going to be a little more dangerous driving. You're not allowed to drive today. It just doesn't happen. When are we going to grow up, stop being babies, and start managing our own personal risks? I'll just say that on a side note. But you're right. It screams under, right? What do the Carolina Panthers like to do, especially if Cam Newton's going to get the bulk of the carries? I know Matt Rule said Sam Darnold will play a little bit, which is laughable to me. Taking out Cam Newton to put in Sam Darnold is like getting rid of chlamydia to get herpes. I don't really know what the point of that is here. But Carolina likes to run the ball, and they like to run the ball up the middle, RPO options with Cam Newton. Guess what? That's not happening against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially when Vita Vea is in the lineup. So that offense is going to struggle. The way you attack Tampa Bay is beating that very beatable secondary. They don't have the talent at the quarterback position to do that. Then you flip it over to Tampa Bay. Carolina's defense has been pretty solid all year long. That's not a terrible defense. And you're right. You take away Mike Evans, you take away Chris Godwin, you take away 2 monster options in that offense for Tom Brady. Antonio Brown and Gronk, and Leonard Fournette as well. Let's not forget about that. There's a lot of value at running back in DFS today. Finding the right one. Justin Jackson would be the one I would jump on early, opposed to Ronald Jones and maybe Alexander Madison with a tougher matchup against the Rams. But I like the under in this one. I'm not taking a side here. I would say Tampa Bay should probably cover here, but are you going to trust them to cover by this much, down all those weapons? Probably not. I think the under is the play here.
Yeah, Ronald Jones should get at least 30 touches in this game. I mean, you haven't used the kid all year. Now you're down just about every running back you have and wide receiver. He's probably going to get a lot of it, which, again, feeds into there's going to be a lot of running of the football on both sides. Also, JPP out, Levante David out for the Bucs, and they're still favored by 11.5. The best part about this, Kyle, I could see the 11.5, honestly. If last week you watched Tampa Bay score 21 points and beat the New Orleans Saints without any of these players. They were horrendous. They didn't score a single point, and yet they're going to go on the road here and be favored by double digits. And also keep in mind, it's not as if the Buccaneers, regardless of players in, have dominated on the road this year. They haven't done that. So if I had to lean towards this game, I hate Cam Newton, but I probably would take the 11.5 because Tampa Bay doesn't have anything today. They don't have anything. So I think this game's going to be a slower pace. Line dropped 5 points on the total. I'll stick with the under here. Next game up, 459, 460, the Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Glennon, listed as a starter. Fromm's going to get the start today. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles favored by double digits. They should win this game easy. Just like last week you saw. The Eagles couldn't have started out any worse. The only way the Eagles lose this football game is that they implode for all four quarters of this game. Jake Fromm's not an NFL quarterback. He shouldn't be starting an NFL game. So if you're looking for, again, the same way I thought last week with the Eagles and Washington football team, if you don't have a starter that deserves to be in the NFL, it's not contrarian to take the Giants today. It's stupidity, Kyle.
I completely agree. And, early in the week, a big part of me wanted to jump on this Eagles team total, but what kind of running mate are they going to have here with the Giants? The Eagles defense isn't great. Yeah. My goodness. And I know the Giants are getting Kadarius Toney back, so that's nice. But can Jake Fromm,
nope.
Have we seen Jake Fromm? Jake Fromm was the guy that the Bills made stay all alone on the side and hang out with nobody so he could be the emergency quarterback. This isn't a guy who's NFL ready here. Yes, the Eagles should absolutely win this game. Do I trust them as a team to win by double digits? I don't. If I'm betting the Eagles today, I'm betting them in the second half. They are a second half team. They start really slow. They've been doing it all season long. They tend to ramp it up in the second half. Live betting the Eagles in the second half and maybe getting a better number, hoping maybe the Giants can get a kick return, maybe a fumble. Return some sort of defensive score, which is what they're most likely going to need to put points on the board, and then get a better number on the Eagles in the second half. But as we sit here, this is a complete stay away game for me. Miles Sanders props look pretty good to me as well. They're finally starting to give him the ball more. Giants stink against the run. Miles Sanders should have a big day.
Yeah, it should be. And again, like I preface it by saying, it's you take the points some games, you say, it's a division game, it's too much. It's different here. Like if Daniel Jones was in the game, Kyle, and they were favored by 11, I say, you know what? They probably can keep it close. But the hardest thing to do in the NFL is it's hard enough to play quarterback as is. And then when you say, okay, we stink as a team, we're going to throw a kid that doesn't deserve to be in the NFL, you don't get prizes for that stuff. So again, maybe the Giants end up covering this game, but the fastest way to lose your money is to bet a quarterback that doesn't even belong in the NFL. So that's what you're going to get in this game. And looking at the over-under at 40.5, the Eagles will have to carry that here. The Eagles want to run the football and run it a lot. Can the Eagles get into the 30s, get close to it? Yeah, they can. But the simple fact of the matter is, do they need to? And will the Giants be able to move the football at all today? Again, leaning towards an under of 40.5, which is ludicrous to do, but that's just predicated on Jake Fromm, a quarterback. And what is the Giants' actual ceiling today? 13.5 for you, Kyle? Like, do they get more than 2 touchdowns?
It's tough to imagine that. Again, it's always possible when you have a team like the Eagles, it's a running quarterback. The ball's going to be in his hands a lot. So there's going to be a lot of those RPOs. So you could get some muffed. That's the concern, right? When you're taking the under is one muffed snap or, you saw it with Kyler Murray in the shotgun. He's looking around trying to find where to run. The snap goes by him. Those sorts of things could happen here. But if it's just in a vacuum, that offense moving the ball up and down the field, I just don't see the Giants moving the ball all that great in this one. So I would probably lean the under as well, but I'd be very, very nervous about it. For me, I'll just run away. I'll just have this game on Red Zone. I'm playing against Jalen Hurts in the fantasy football semifinals today. I'll be rooting against him having a big game.
All right, so we'll see what happens in that one. But again, just looking at the Philadelphia Eagles here, unless you could keep in mind last week, like they were favored by 9.5. They basically said, here, Washington, take the game from us in the first quarter. But then you have Garrett Gilbert, and he doesn't deserve to be an NFL player. And you saw the way that game plays out. And also, you're talking about Jalen Hurts coming back from rustiness the last week. He shouldn't be rusty. The Eagles should roll in this game. Another one here, Chargers and the Houston Texans. Justin Herbert versus Davis Mills. Let me preface by saying the Texans are a horrible football team. They are decimated by COVID. They're getting 13.5 points here at the FanDuel Sportsbook, and that's without Pro Bowlers across the board for the Chargers. It's asinine to see where some of these lines are actually going here. 45.5 in this one. Again, I'm going to take the under. You have 3 of your top 4 wide receivers not going to play for the Chargers today, right? So you take a look at the running back position. Top running back out. Top pass rusher out. Multitude of other guys still out on the COVID list. Then you take a look at Houston here, who as of yesterday had 9 players alone, Kyle, on the defensive line that weren't able to play in this game. Justin Jackson, as you said, he might be one of the best plays you could have. He should reach 20 touches. He should get the end zone multiple times. I was ready to lay the lumber on this team total for the Chargers midweek, and everything started to collapse. So again, little PSA question here. Don't fire and beat numbers on Tuesday. It means nothing. You should be betting, like right now, Kyle, when the inactives come out at 11:30 Eastern for those first, that's when you should actually be betting the NFL at this point. It's crazy to watch. Do I want to lay 13.5 on the road with the Chargers? No, I don't. But if you're going to take away also Brandon Cooks, the only bright spot shining moment on that Texans team, and he's not going to play, horrible game, give me the under.
Yeah, give me the under. I kind of wanted to, before the Brandon Cooks news, I was like, ooh, some Texans paying here. Team total 16.5. The Chargers absolutely cannot stop the run, so the Texans may be able to get themselves in third and manageable. This is a complete stay away game. Again, you're right. All of the injuries there. Justin Jackson should have a decent game if you're looking to go contrarian there. Joshua Kelly as well should get some work probably in the red zone. The 4th round pick last year out of UCLA. It's tough. I mean, you want to take the Chargers. They should cover here. You're not getting any value on the Chargers team total at 29.5, 28.5. I will pass there. No Mike Williams,
Ridiculous.
No Austin Eckler. It's just ridiculous. Too high. I lean the under here. There's no way I'm betting this game again. This could be a live betting spot. I just will not bet it. I don't trust the Chargers. That's further I can throw them. I don't like all those injuries out there. And then you look at the Houston Texans. What is there to like about the Texans? Terrible coach, terrible quarterback, terrible skill position players, terrible defense, up and down the board. Stay away spot for me. I guess I would lean the Chargers here, but I would be very, very nervous about it. And I love the comment, Jake from State Farm. That's funny. I think that's funny. It's pretty clever. Jake from State Farm. Like it.
He will be starting for the Giants today. But yes, again, one of those interesting ones. 45.5 sits there. I lean towards the under. Again, you're talking about the Houston Texans here. Max points, even with those defenders out, 13.5 again. Do they get to 2 touchdowns? We'll see it play out here. Another barn burner here. Detroit and Atlanta. Boyle is going to get the start over Jared Goff. Matt Ryan at home. 6.5s have turned into 7.5s. Do you ever, these are one of those games where you look at it and you say to yourself, all right, Atlanta being favored is ridiculous because why should they ever be favored? But you have to rely on this. Again, we're talking about betting situations. If you're approaching this game and you're saying Matt Ryan and Atlanta shouldn't be favored, I agree. But you don't have an NFL quarterback on the other sideline. Think about this. Look at the games we're going over. NFL, the most important position in sport is a competent NFL quarterback. And you see the points, Kyle, right? I can't lay 7.5 with Atlanta. Well, think about Detroit, who the kid is going to worry about getting a snap from center, calling the play correctly in the huddle, lining his guys up, changing protections on an already horrendous football team. You can't do it. Here we go again, Kyle. 42.5. Give me the under.
Give me the under. And probably my favorite prop play of the day is Cordero Patterson over 21.5 receiving yards over at BetMGM, minus 120. I absolutely love that. That number's starting to get a little juiced up, so people are starting to notice. That's a good prop play. Cordero Patterson's getting 22 yards receiving. He's a huge part of that offense. Tough week last week. It was a tough matchup for them. This week, I expect them to bounce back. The Lions are absolutely dreadful against opposing running backs. So, and no DeAndre Swift. So it's the Craig Reynolds show again for the Detroit Lions, and they're finding ways to win here. Probably not today. I would lean the Falcons, but really we're going to take Matt Ryan and the Falcons to win by more than a touchdown. If you feel comfortable putting your money on that in any scenario, you are absolutely insane. Not a bad teaser spot. If you can tease the Falcons down to 1.5 or 2, I think the Falcons do win this game. Tim Boyle's going to start a quarterback, for Christ's sake. If the Lions win this game against the Falcons with Tim Boyle at quarterback, then football is broken. And Groovy Caps, they're not only without Eckler, they're also without Mike Williams, Derwin James. Several players are out for the Chargers, so that's why nobody is talking about the Chargers today. They should win the game. That's another teaser spot. Just
only without Eckler. They're down 11
players. Yeah, you need to go back and reread that because that is absolutely incorrect on every level. No, I mean, I would lean the Falcons here. I don't love it, and I like that. The only bet in this game I like, Cordero Patterson over 21.5 yards receiving.
Yeah, it's funny because we end the show at 12:30, which is good because I'm going to have some chances to play around. But I like the sentiment in the chat box the same way as you, Kyle. If you are fading, let's just say you're taking a teaser or a money line and just fading the COVID teams and the players that play quarterback that shouldn't be in the NFL, you might be able to pick up a little bit of money today because I'm going to be surprised if, and every game we've talked about here, ridiculousness at quarterback, Kyle. Let's get to the next one. Baltimore, Cincinnati. Baltimore, third string quarterback that they signed up to scrap heap just a week and a half ago here. Cincinnati -7. This was one of those games even coming into the week, Kyle said, why is Cincinnati only a 3-point favorite here? Like there is a mash unit for Baltimore. Now you're down to your third string quarterback. And again, if you're taking the Baltimore Ravens, you are playing. Oh, did you see him play with the Jets? Yeah, I saw him play with the Jets a couple weeks ago. But when you're playing with a defense that had 13 players available for practice on defense as of Thursday, that is hilarious. And now you're going to take it into this game where if you win this game from Cincinnati, you are now in the pole position there to win the AFC North. Baltimore is probably not going to make the playoffs. Again, I look at this over-under 43.5. I go under again today.
Yep, absolutely. And I wanted that Bengals team total. I wanted it bad. If Lamar Jackson was playing, I'd be all over it. But bottom line is, are they going to have a running mate in Baltimore? And it's going to be, now that Bengals defense isn't great, but Josh Johnson making his debut with Baltimore, he looked fine in that one game against the Jets, coming in and replacing White. I get it. But look, he's barely been with this team. They don't have the greatest skill position players anyways in Baltimore. It's going to be a long game here. I actually think the Bengals cover this. I'm not real. I don't get the Bengals right very often. They're one of those teams for me that's kind of been my bugaboo all year long.
Yeah. Like, why is the Ravens hanging around in this game? You should have been already the lights put out. Exactly.
I do actually like the Bengals to cover. A buddy of mine asked, like, which spread in these early games do you like the most? And I think it is the Bengals. They should win this game by double digits. I expect them to take control of this division. I like the Bengals defense and DFS as well.
Yeah.
I even did a Joe Burrow lineup. Maybe they won't be throwing in the fourth quarter, but I think he throws a couple of touchdown passes today, especially early on in the first half. Chase and Higgins should have a nice game. I like the Bengals here. I think they cover. I wanted the team total, but I just can't trust them. I don't know that they'll need to score 27 points to beat Baltimore today. I don't think they will. It's Bengals or nothing for me. You cannot back Josh Johnson and the Ravens today.
It's the sign of the day here, man. It's just unders. And how about if you, like, let's just say, because again, I'm not big on this stuff, but sometimes you got to mess around and have fun. If you just took every single game and teased it to the under, now probably is a ludicrous thought, but every game I'm coming up against here, I'm like, how can you take the over in this game? And they're talking about low 40s totals here because there's NFL players that are playing quarterback today that don't deserve to be in the league. Now, finally, Kyle, a 1 o'clock game, 467, 468, the Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. All right, we get a little semblance here. Two teams fighting for the playoffs. The Rams now all of a sudden say, yo, we could take down the NFC West. We might be able to get the #1 overall seed, and here we go. Now let's take a look at this game overall. COVID/injury list here. Here's the reason I like the Rams today, Kyle. They're -3, over-unders 48.5. They do have a short week, and that's going to work against them. You play Tuesday at home, then you got to go on the road. That's not fair, but it is what it is in COVID 2021 in the NFL. But I look at Matthew Stafford. I think he gets it back underneath him, his legs underneath him. Taking a look at getting Odell Beckham Jr. back at the wide receiver position. Now knows the playbook. Looks like he's going to be effective. Cooper Kupp, nobody can cover the guy. But what I'm looking at more importantly here is how the defense on the Rams, Kyle, matches up versus the Minnesota Vikings. You are going to Kirk Cousins banged up a little bit with a rib cage injury. I think he'll be okay today. But you're talking about a defensive line now with Von Miller back. They should be able to eat. Also, when you say to yourself, Justin Jefferson, one of the better young wide receivers in the NFL, heck, one of the best wide receivers overall in the league. Jalen Ramsey is going to be over him the entire game. They say, hey, look, Adam Thielen's coming back today. Adam Thielen can barely run. So maybe more of a decoy this week than not. If he was completely healthy, different story. And you know what else hurts? No Dalvin Cook in this game. So if you were telling me coming into this game, I'm going to get a healthy Thielen, healthy Jefferson, healthy Dalvin Cook, Minnesota's probably going to be a live dog in here getting the 3 points. But without Dalvin Cook and Thielen banged up, they're not going to be as explosive, again, with Jalen Ramsey over Jefferson. I got the Rams in this one. I think the Rams are able to cover that 3 points and pick up the W here and on their continuing cruise to that top overall seed or maybe just an NFC West title.
Yeah, this is a huge game for the Rams, and the door's open, and teams get up for that. And what do we like in December, right? You look across the league outside of a couple places. It's cold, it's snowing, it's windy. This is in a dome. It's a controlled environment. I like the Rams team total. I tweeted it out. I would feel better if the Vikings had some more of their healthy weapons so that they could sort of push the pace here. But the Vikings tend to score points at home. So even though Thielen's not 100% and they have no Dalvin Cook, Madison has proven to be a suitable fill-in. Kirk Cousins is better early on at home. He's not great against winning teams. I think the Rams get to 27 points. It's over 26.5 -110 over at BetMGM. I like that quite a bit. The Vikings allow the most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers in the league. Those wide receiver props are open. The problem is Cooper Kupp has to get 108.5 to hit his. Oh my God, that's a huge number. So I would probably go to the Odell Beckham 45.5 -110. I think that makes a lot of sense. I like the Matthew Stafford over 2.5 passing touchdowns. I think he gets 3 passing touchdowns. You get plus money on that today at plus 150. Expect the Rams passing game to dominate this. I like the Rams team total. It's probably my second favorite side outside of the Bengals. I do think the Rams win by 3 today. It's part of one of my money line parlays. Yes, Bobby Mills. I still like Cordero at 22.5. It's only 1 yard more. He should get there relatively easily. But I like the Rams in this one. I like their team total, and I like them to cover on the road.
Yeah, let's take a look here. So now, as we talked about a good game, let's hit a lull again. Jacksonville and the New York Jets here.
God.
The #1 versus #2 pick. They both suck this year. So you see the over-under in this game at 43. I'm going under again. Now, here's what we're also going to look at here because, two bad defenses, they should be able. I understand that. But Trevor Lawrence has thrown one touchdown pass in his last 7 games. You heard that right. He's got 1 touchdown pass in 7 games. Then you take a look at Zach Wilson and say, okay, he should be able to fare against a poor defense, right? He's down his top 3 wide receivers receivers heading into this game. So I don't know where the scoring is going to come. This is a brutal football game. So when I see the New York Jets here favored by 2.5, I say to myself, I don't like the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I say whoever is favored in this game doesn't deserve to be favored. I'll take the points with the Jacksonville Jaguars at 2.5 today.
Yeah, it's just principle, right? You can't take either of these teams favored. If this was Alabama versus the Jets and they were favored, you're like, I'm probably taking the points with Alabama, right? I mean, you're just not doing it. So yeah, I'm with you. Of course, I will not be touching this game with a 10-foot pole. I do think I like, they still have James Robinson and a couple guys on the outside. No Jamison Crowder for the Jets. So you're right. Jets favored. Go the other side. It's
no Moore, no Crowder, no Corey Davis. Like, who's playing over there?
Exactly.
Who can they throw to?
And as shitty as Trevor Lawrence has been, I think Zach Wilson's even worse. I mean,
Queen and Williams just tested positive this morning. So, I mean, it's just a mess. The Jets are a mess. How they favored.
James Robinson's a nice little DFS option today. He should be able to get into the end zone. I think Jacksonville's the play here. As sick as it makes me feel on the inside, if I'm picking a side here, I'm taking Jacksonville.
Me too. I'm going to take Jacksonville. It might be different here. If Jacksonville's favored by 2.5, I probably would end up taking the Jets. But Zach Wilson, a rookie quarterback with absolutely zero weapons across the board. Good luck in this one. So
I'll say Jags team total. Jags team total 19.5 minus 150. I could see them getting there against a bad Jets team. I know it's tough. That's pain. That's a lot of pain. That's a lot of fucking pain.
That is painful. Let's get to a good game here today. Probably the game of the day. Buffalo, New England, 471, 472. Josh Allen, Mac Jones. Line sits at 1 across the board, over under 43.5. Now, this is one that I take a look at here. Weather conditions going to be pretty good there up in New England today. 44 degrees, under 10 miles an hour. That's exactly where we want to be. No rain, no sleet conditions, none of that. I think this is a bounce-back game for the Buffalo Bills, and particularly, I don't love the Bills coming into this game. They don't run the ball all that effectively here. You're down a couple weapons at the wide receiver position. You're down Tre'Davious White, who obviously didn't play in that last game versus New England Patriots. But it's almost like I don't even want to say the fan in me because you guys know me. I'm an Eagles fan. Bill Belichick got so much credit for the single worst game plan in the history of football, and it ended up working out for him last game. That let me see what he has to do today, because I assume it's not going to be three passes, and the rest you're going to be running. Ramondre Stevenson is out for this game. He is. I don't know if he's tested positive. Was it COVID or is he just injured?
I think either way, just hurt.
Either way, he is out. Now, Harris also going to play in this game.
Yeah.
He's got a hamstring injury, which, as we know, not the easiest thing for a running back or a wide receiver, a skill position player to deal with. So I figure he won't be as effective today. The Buffalo Bills are a better overall football team. They should be angry coming into this one here. I'll take the Bills. I don't need the points here. Bills money line for that short price here. Also, I think it has a legitimate chance to go over 43.5, though. I do too.
Yeah, the Bills were really, I might actually tweet it out after. The Bills team totals at 20.5. That's a low team total for this offense. Now, I know the Patriots defense is good, and that last game was bad, but you got to remember the weather was terrible. This is a little bit better weather here. Josh Allen's going to be able to throw the ball. They're embarrassed about what happened last time. Bills team total might be my second favorite one on the board, over 20.5, minus 130. That's over at BetMGM. I think they can get to 21 points today. I think the offense moves the ball. Bills win this game outright. Probably my favorite underdog on the card as well.
Yeah, Joe Chris says I'm teasing the NFL today with this COVID. Yeah, I mean, it's right. Like, there's a lot of spots here that you can get teams down to roughly a pick 'em where the other quarterback should not even be in the league. So something to maybe pick on and have some fun up here. All right, let's keep moving here. Nick Foles is going to get a start up in Seattle. Nasty weather conditions here, which during midweek, I was actually hoping Justin Fields would start, because I actually did like the over in that game, because I do think Chicago can move the football. Seattle basically out of it. Russell Wilson getting healthier. Tyler Lockett back from the COVID list. But now, not so much. 43.5 turned to 41.5. Seattle favored by 7 in this one. Two teams going absolutely nowhere. Yeah. So I guess you would say, okay, I will take Russell Wilson, but do you want to take Seattle, who's going nowhere, to win by more than a touchdown here? Just a brutal game. And I don't even want to give an opinion on the side of the total, because you know what, Kyle? I have no idea who cares in this game.
Yeah, exactly. I sort of like that Seattle team total early in the week, and now the weather's bad. And I mean, that Bears secondary is putrid, but now you're starting Nick Foles. That's just going to be a disaster. I mean, what good can come from that? This is not my God. I mean, I lean the under in the game, to be completely honest here. I was trying to look at some player props here. They do have Lockett and Metcalf low, 59.5 and 55.5. Again, it's going to be in the 20s. I was just up there in Seattle. It's cold. There might be some snow today. It's freezing. It's a little bit tough. And yes, for those of you watching, hit that like button. Help us out here. I don't want to have to yell at everyone like we do on the baseball shows, but I will if I have to. Hit that like button. Help us out. I mean, I lean the Seahawks. It's a tough place to play up there in Seattle. I'll go with the home team here and lean the Seahawks. Am I betting with my own money? I'm not. And it's a small, honorable mention for that Seahawks team total over 23.5. That Bears secondary is so bad.
It is.
They should be able to get the 24 points at home, but it makes you throw up in your mouth just a little bit.
Yeah, 40 degrees, rain in the forecast, winds around 10 miles an hour, two teams that don't give a damn. This is the tough part about it because nobody cares anymore. And the worst thing you can do with your money is put your money on a team. It's like they don't even care. Like, I just bet this team and they look like they don't give a damn. So that's certainly a little bit hard to, try to play off at that point here. Pittsburgh and Kansas City, these two teams should give a damn. Pittsburgh hanging on by a thread to make the playoffs. Kansas City getting bit by the COVID bug, getting Tyreek Hill back is nice. Kelsey's going to be out in this one. Chris Jones coming back on the defensive line. But again, it's not a pickup here, Kyle. Pick'em, excuse me. It's a 10-point line to 10.5 across the board with an over-under of 44.5. Weather conditions out in Arrowhead today, 60 degrees, 12 miles an hour. You should get scoring in this game still for me. So I would lean over 44.5, but I'm not willing to lay the 10.5. But the one thing is for sure, Kyle, I think you're going to explain, the alarm clocks don't go off exactly at the right time for the Pittsburgh Steelers, do they?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you're going to get a slow start again for the Steelers, right? The Chiefs will probably be up early. I will say, and as far as paying team totals today, Steelers 16.5 minus 120. That's a little bit tempting, right? They know how to play in these, it's not horrible weather in Kansas City, but it's, it's a little cooler, 55 degrees, over 17, they're saying a lot of wind there. Ben Roethlisberger, I could see turnovers, pick sixes, et cetera, especially from the Pittsburgh side. I like the Chiefs defense in DFS. Man, the only way I'm betting this is if I want to hate myself and put a little sprinkle on the Steelers over 16.5 and just ride out, just yell at Big Ben the entire game and yell at Chris Boswell and Mike Tomlin the entire game. That'd be the only way I do it. Lean the Chiefs here. This is another spot. Tease this down under a touchdown. The Chiefs should get this done. They are the better team across the board, and that Chiefs defense has been playing better. God, this is another ugly one. I'm going to say it's the pain team total of the day. Steelers over 16.5. That's the best thing I could say for this game.
Hey, God, I preface this, guys. We love the NFL. I love to gamble. Yeah. I love to bet. I love to handicap the NFL. I got to tell you, this week, you put in that time and Monday, it doesn't make sense. You shouldn't even be capping until Friday afternoon when you get a sort of thought process of what's going to happen, and then the flurry of COVID Friday, COVID Saturday, COVID right up to the game. It's just incredible to look at. But again, I do agree. If you're just fading the bad quarterbacks today, I think you can make yourself some money. Let's go to Denver. Drew Lock starting there versus Derek Carr. And they are a favorite on the road of -1 for Denver. Now, I actually do agree they should be favorites overall because I think their defense is better. Their skill positions are better. Sure. But again, Drew Lock is a quarterback. If I could guarantee that I'm going to have an average day out of Drew Lock, right? Let's just say 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. They got a legitimate chance. But it just seems like 190 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 4 turnovers, and you get yourself caught here. 41.5, though. I actually like the over here because Drew Lock probably will throw some touchdowns and throw some disaster interceptions. I'll go over 41.5 in this game.
Yeah, it makes you scared because then you're relying on Derek Carr to score. And my God, Derek Carr will put up. He'll put up.
What
nice
happened
numbers.
To that offense?
Sometimes you'll see, Derek Carr had a nice game, but watch what he does on third down. Watch what he does on the big plays. He disappears. The ball flies out of the end zone. He's not good in critical situations that help the offense keep moving. Oh, God, this is another just awful. I can't take Drew Lock as a favorite. Just flat out cannot do it. Drew Lock is just so putrid to watch. Yes, exactly, Akbar. Jesus Christ, Drew Lock.
Yeah,
I guess I would lean the Raiders today. I guess. I mean,
what a card, man.
I don't know if I would bet this game with my worst enemy's money. Honestly, this game is so bad. I mean, it's Raiders or nothing for me. I will not take Drew Lock as a road favorite. I just, based on principle alone, I will not take Drew Lock as a road favorite. Just won't do it. So it's Raiders or nothing for me.
It's absolutely, it's pretty funny to watch as you see us go down the list of each game and be like, how could you bet this game? Who's playing? And again, we're going to do it on Sunday Night Football, Washington and Dallas. Heineke's coming back off the COVID list. They're a mixed mash unit, but do you want to trust the Dallas Cowboys laying 9 points in the division? They should have killed the Washington football team last time. Dak Prescott doesn't look like he's all that, locked in at this point. Even when you look at, Dallas won last week and covered their spread. Jake Fromm had that team on the move late to get the backdoor cover. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with laying 9 points. I don't necessarily like the 46.5. Welcome to today's NFL card, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I think I lean the under here as well. So who is Taylor Heineke throwing it to exactly? What is What's going on here? Let me look at the receiving props for the Washington football team because that's pretty funny to me. So they'll have McLaurin, so that's good. And then it's Adam Humphries. I mean, that's where we're going. Gibson, is he going to make it to the starting gate? Yikes. It's very rare that I'm at a loss for words and don't have anything to say in a lot of these games. I'm like, I don't know what the hell to say in this game. I would lean the under here. I don't trust that Cowboys. That Washington secondary has been really bad, but you get these spots where you expect Dallas offense to move the ball and they just simply don't. I had some slight consideration for that Dallas team total at 26.5 at -155, but do I want to be holding the ball, holding the bag later in this game? Probably I'm going to sit on that. If I decide to pull the trigger on that, I'll have it out on Twitter Sunday night. Of course, Donnie will as well. Right now, I lean the Cowboys, but I don't love it. And slight consideration for that Cowboys team total over 26.5 -155 at BetMGM.
Yeah, if we take a look now, because, we talked about like just fading teams with bad quarterbacks. This isn't bad, and I just might play this today. And I mess around sometimes and do this. A 4-leg parlay today, Kyle. Hear me out. Like, who would blow this one up? Chargers money line over the Houston Texans.
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles money line over the New York Giants.
Yep.
Cincinnati Bengals money line over the Baltimore Ravens. Yep. Atlanta Falcons money line over the Detroit Lions. That's a +121. No lines, no teasers where they got to cover by 3.5 just to win those football games. Because basically what you're doing here, right, is you're going up against, teams that have quarterbacks that should not be in the NFL, right? And you're just saying, okay, try to dig in and see what happens. Who blows that up? And you agree with a play like that or what you can do today?
Yeah, I think money line parlays and teasers is the way to do it today. Now, I will say, I don't know why. This is just an indictment of Matt Ryan, but the Falcons scared the living shit out of me in that one. I don't know why. Why do I feel
David Blau wins that game? I was like, you know what? That's it. Okay, no big deal.
I think they're going to start Tim Boyle. I think it's going to be Boyle.
Yeah, Boyle Blau. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's my point right there. It doesn't even matter. There's just two B's over there.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why, but I feel like Tim Boyle could somehow outplay Matt Ryan and just have this huge upset. Dan Campbell's over there snorting cocaine and cheering his ass off. I don't know. I think the Falcons.
I'm going to bet that today. I'm going to put.
I like it. I don't mind throwing the Buccaneers on there in the money line. I think they beat Carolina. You could throw the Rams on there. Do a nice big long parlay at the Bills. I think you could get some value if you really want to boost up the number. Add the Bills as a slight dog on there. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just put $100 on that. I bet that's going to be my fun bet of the day. I'm waiting on some prop bets to come up, Kyle, but it doesn't seem like they're giving me too many here on the
and you throw the Chiefs on there against Pittsburgh. They should beat the Steelers as well. You could do a nice 7-8 leg parlay here and make some money if it hits.
Yeah, I'm going to tweet that out. I need something to cheer on today. I'm going to be watching my Eagles play the Giants, and I am going to root for the Buffalo Bills because I want to see them win. But if I'm just going to have something that I want to fade bad quarterbacks with COVID teams, that's what I'm doing today. But that'll do it for today's show, Kyle. Nice little 30 minutes here. Yep. Hopefully, again, you had a nice Christmas because we're headed right into the playoffs here at Bookmakers Rule. We'll have a lot of fun this week. Kyle and I both will be back again tomorrow talking about opening lines for Week 17 and also some Monday Night Football action with another third-string, fourth-string quarterback with the New Orleans Saints. So we'll carry it on. We'll make sure it happens here. But thank you guys once again for tuning in and spending your Sunday with us right here at Bookmakers Review. I'm Donnie RightSide along with Kyle Purviance. We are the NFL team on BMR. So make sure you stay tuned with us. And as always, good luck on those wagers today.